Would you look at that? It seems like the Republicans are no longer in control of the House, Senate, and presidency. So now you know what time it is. It's time to start promoting bills that would give more people gun rights, or maybe just a little bit more gun rights, because they would never try to completely abolish the NFA or try to make it so that shall not be infringed is even more clear than it really already is. So now that they don't have the control to actually do anything, it's time to pander to the Second Amendment audience to guarantee that they get more votes this next time around. Today, we are talking about the Shush Act. Now, what the Shush Act is, now let's read that out. Silencers Help Us Save Hearing Act, or the Shush Act. This bill would deregulate suppressors from the NFA, making it so that they're not even like a firearm, meaning that you could just go buy one from a store same day, have one shipped to your house same day. Now, some state laws are most likely going to supersede this, but that's, just the nature of the beast. States like California, we really hate guns apparently, or at least our legislators think we do, and then continue to control us and tell us what we can and can't own. But this bill would potentially, actually, let me just not say potentially, this bill intends to or desires to remove them from the NFA completely, meaning that suppressors would no longer be regulated as a firearm that would have to be paid a $200 fee and get a pat on the head from the ATF for being a good boy and abiding by the laws. This bill is neat, but it's dead on arrival. And let's talk about why I'm not actually impressed at all by any of this action. Now, if we go here, Gun Owners of America made a video talking about it, and they seem pretty excited about it. They talk about how it's good to, try to push back and take more control. They, at one point, acknowledge the fact that, it's not going to really get anywhere because the way that the House and Senate are made up right now, and there's no way in hell Biden signs a bill like this. So if you look at the 116th Congress website for this, because the 117th, I have not seen this bill text actually uploaded yet. But the 2016, if we look at some of in the Senate version, we had 5 co-sponsors. Those co-sponsors were Mike Crapo, James Risch, John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, and Rand Paul. The last 2 you kind of expect to be co-signing on pretty much any non-compromising gun rights bill. So it's good to see them on there. I'm not a fan of Ted Cruz. Rand Paul is pretty fucking cool though. So then we go to the actual Shush Act on the House of Representatives. We see that there are no co-sponsors and that there were very few actions actually taken on this. Basically, it was introduced for about a month or 2 and then it just disappeared. If we look at the Senate, it was introduced in the Senate and that's it. So we look at who actually the Gun Owners of America is claiming is bringing it up this time. We go to Bob Good. Now, this is his first term in Congress. So for him to be pushing this, cool, good on him. He might be an actual gun owner or an actual 2A advocate that we can count on in the future. First term in Congress, but also at the same time, this might just be a way for him to pretend like he cares. But he kind of he came in at a bad time. His side doesn't really have the control necessary to get this to pass, but him proposing it is a good idea. Mike Lee from Utah. Now, it says that he was the senator from 2011 till now, but you will see that his name wasn't on any of these co-sponsor lists. So maybe by the time that he was interested in it, maybe it just kind of lost traction, didn't go anywhere. But, maybe he actually cares. Maybe he doesn't really care all that much. To me, I'm kind of less inclined to believe that he cares a whole lot based on the fact that he didn't support this in the past. Ultimately, at the end of the day, though, when you look at these bills, they're absolutely not going to pass. And I think this is just another example of Republicans continuing to use guns as a means to gain votes, but not actually do anything when it really matters. I understand that, the filibuster is still a thing, and that's currently the only thing saving us from a complete assault on the Second Amendment across the board. If the filibuster falls, goodbye guns, or goodbye guns legally, because they would destroy the protections in place put in by the Second Amendment or acknowledged by the Second Amendment. It's really hard to have this conversation because talking about it is really weird. The Second Amendment doesn't grant you any rights. It just kind of acknowledges it from the federal government point of view. But it seems like it was a little bit too complicated when they said the freedom of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Pretty complicated sentence. So they have 30,000 state, federal, and local gun laws on the books. So I don't really know. Maybe it's too hard for some people to understand. I know I sound kind of like a downer when I talk about this so negatively, but you just have to acknowledge it. This bill will not go anywhere. Anyone that's trying to tell you that it is so awesome and they're going to fucking get it done this time, they're blowing smoke up your ass. This is not going to go anywhere. There is very little point of actually trying to pass this right now. What they should be focusing on is preserving what we can, because right now we're not in a position to make huge advancements. We can't compromise. We cannot back down. We have to stop the assault before we try to make our own attacks and gain something back. Maybe I'm not thinking about that in the right way. Feel free to have a conversation down below why you think I could be wrong. If you word your opinion in a respectful way and how you think that this could actually be beneficial right now, I'd be happy to hear it. So really, the big things that I think we can focus on in order to actually make real progress, if you're saying, Reno, you're such a downer, what's your solution? I don't really have a solution, unfortunately, but I can tell you one thing that would actually be really helpful in general nationwide. So when you look at communities online for gun ownership, when it comes to people that are left of center, liberal, leftist, socialist, whatever the hell it is that they want to call themselves and say, oh, I'm not a this, I'm a that, oh, I'm not a Pisces, I'm a killer whale, whatever it is that you want to say. If you are a left of center gun owner, commonly you will see within those communities of liberal gun owners, leftist gun owners, socialist gun owners, they say things like, oh, leftists own guns too. We just don't talk about it and make it part of our identity. Okay, I'm going to say something that's kind of mean right now. I'm sorry. Please don't be too offended. If you voted for Democrats and own guns and you don't tell anybody about gun ownership and how it's important, you are worse than the gun grabbers, because what you're doing is you acknowledge the importance of guns internally, and then you vote for the people that are actively trying to take away those rights from you, and you're just, it's worse than just sitting by and being a bystander. Like, you know what's happening. You know the consequences of voting left when it comes to gun rights. The very least you can do is encourage other people to have reasonable conversations about gun ownership and teach people. I understand that you might think that there are more important things to vote on. And you probably thought, or maybe you just wanted to believe, that the person who wrote the 1994 crime bill is an actual racist and has done all these horrible things throughout his long career, was going to magically change and start believing in the things that you believe in as a progressive. Cool. Maybe that made sense to you. But you got to understand that you know that they're going after guns, and we really need your help. And to the Republicans, please be willing to have real adult conversations. There are many opportunities that are missed. I'm not saying you can't make fun of people and can't be mean on the internet, because I think that's part of the internet and I accept that. But I think that there's been many times where I've seen in real life and online people that could have potentially been interested in hearing your side. And I know that it's hard to have those conversations, but you got to kind of just be willing to do it and have those conversations with people that you think are just leftist, libturd, shitbird, whatever it is that you want to call them nowadays. Just be willing to have conversations with people, even if it feels like banging your head into a wall when someone says that the police and the government are evil and racist, and that people shouldn't have guns, and the government should be the only people with guns, and that they should go take your guns, and that you can't fight the US government with these AR-15s, but also it's a weapon of war that shouldn't be on our streets and is the most deadly machine in the history of the world. I understand that having someone make those arguments to you can make you want to start a shotgun, but you're going to just have to push through it and have real, rational, adult conversations with people. At the same time, though, maybe understand that some people are just never going to believe what you believe, and pick your battles wisely, I guess. At the end of the day, Shush Act, I think it's a big waste of time. The clickbait, soy boy, oh my goodness, thumbnail, I did that on purpose to make fun of the people that are super stoked about this. I love you guys. There's people that I like that make videos and probably talked about this positively. And you know what? It is cool. I agree. This is a cool bill. I would love to have it passed, but I know it's not. So why are we pretending like it is? I don't know. You guys let me know down below what you think about this. You know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.